She goes everywhere. You can see her as she's looking at you from afar. And you're ordering another shot at the bar. And you know she's got that bite. And you know she sings with no pride. But tonight, let's see what she's got tonight. So I say hello there. Hey, how you doing? Well, hello there. Hey, how are you? I said hello there. I'm standing here in front, entertaining you. It's true. Let's have some fun tonight. 'Cause Angie's got the mind. And I say hello there. Hey, how are you? Let's have some fun too. Thank you. Thank you.
Hey, Chris Lipe here with how to sing songs that you know are out of your range and do it well, like this song. This song is definitely out of my natural range.
It's no secret that the both of us are running out of time. So hello from the other side. I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done. But when I call, you never seem to be home. Hello from the outside. At least I can say that I've tried to tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but it don't matter, it's clearly.
Before you adopt the exercise I'm about to show you into your own vocal practicing, you will need to make sure that you adequately support your voice and that you understand how to use airflow and how to support your voice without getting locked in tension. If you are unsure that you are using proper support or you struggle with vocal tension while you sing, the first thing you need to do is click the link below and join my free course, linked in the video description or the pinned comment. Okay, The first solution to singing songs that are out of your range well, and the most common, is to lower the key, change the pitch of the backing track, get out the capo on the guitar, and find a more comfortable key. I, throughout the years, have been quite stubborn with this. No, it was written in that key. I want to perform it in that key, and I'm going to figure out how to do it. And so I've developed a practice routine with my voice that helps me acclimate to keys and use notes within certain keys in a really effective way that I have never really been able to do prior to adopting this way of practicing. This chorus and this line is a perfect vehicle to show you my approach because it's a great melody, but it's fairly repetitive, which most great hooks are. Let's sing these notes and just get the notes any way that you can.
I must have called 1,000 times.
Okay. I'm not even going to worry about the names of the notes because that'll psych me out probably. I must have called 1,000 times. Okay, now when I sang it and just got the notes, I must have called, it stresses me out a little bit in my natural comfortable range to pull up to that or pull chest up to that call. I must have called. So I naturally go into head voice. Totally fine. That's part of the exercise. I must have called 1,000 times. Thing is, I don't want to sing it that way. I want to sing it the way I ended up singing it. And I want it to be free, and I want to be able to sing large passages okay and not burn out. So I isolate sections like this, and I practice creating money notes out of the line. And I do so one at a time. So I don't have to get the whole line the way I want it, the notes exactly, the posture, the intensity, all that sizzle. I just have to get one note out of the line. And then once I've got that line worked up, I go to another line and I build out from those money notes. And then, so we're going to go over this line, and then you can extrapolate this to entire songs that are too high for you, and they don't feel too high for you by the time you've developed the muscle memory over the melody, like I'm going to show you.
I must have called 1,000 times.
So call, that was the first one that I decided was a bit uncomfortable. I must have called So every other note can, take a break. I must have called. I must have. So I'm going to start in head voice. I must have called. But I want that tone on called to be what I want. I must have called 1,000 times. I must have called. Don't tense up before I get to call. Let me abandon into what I really want to feel and hear on called. I must have called 1,000 times. I ran out of breath. I was pitchy in the beginning and I was unsupported. Doesn't matter. Called was great. Now I'm going to do a different note or a different word.
I must have called.
We're going to do I must have called 1,000 times. I must have called. So we're just practicing the entrance into this line. I must have called 1,000 times. I must have called 1,000 times. Everything else is purely comfortable and sort of thrown away. Okay? Now, I pulled on must. I must have called 1,000 times. Now I'm going to do called and I. Both of those are going to be money notes. Everything else is going to be thrown away. I must have called 1,000 times. Did I feel tension? No. Were I and called exactly the way I wanted them? No, but they felt pretty good and they had an intensity. I'm actually being maybe a little too intense on called. So I'm going to back off the intensity on called, really focus on I and called. I must have called called that when I went to I tensed my throat. I must have called 1,000 times. Ooh, not there yet. I must have called 1,000 times. I'm developing a muscle memory for how those feel, and I can return to the sensations on those two notes better now. I must have called 1,000 times. Now, the real money note, because of the way this melody is structured, is in times, right? Times, and that wonderful articulation that needs to be powerful. So that's going to be my money note this time. I'm going to throw out the other two. I must have called 1,000 times. Now, 1,000 and times are the same note. We're not going to worry about that. We're just, 1,000's going to be thrown away, and times is going to be it. I must have called 1,000 times. Now, everything about times, the way I'm closing at times, the way I'm releasing off it, I want to focus on. I must have called 1,000 times. I must have called 1,000 times. Ooh, that's feeling good. I must have called 1,000 times. Now, in fairness, I've already done this with this song for hours and hours and hours. That's how much I go in and try to be meticulous about developing muscle memory over a melody that's challenging instead of just plowing through it. If I spend that much time on it, you can too, and you'll learn a lot about your voice. So after practicing each line and introspecting and crafting the arc and the sensation of each word, each note choice, each way that I'd like to place each note, I then start taking larger sections, and it eventually enables me to sing more parts of the song all the way through, and in some cases, a whole song all the way through. But it's this patient development of muscle memory and this fine-tooth comb way of thinking about each line that allows me to work up to that. This is the way I approach all songs that are initially way out of my league in terms of range. So listen through to this and see if you can pinpoint the budgeting, the arcing, the different things that I'm doing to both get me through and create moments of awesome intensity. They can't all be awesome. I mean, it can all be awesome in a cohesive way, but it can't all be the same amount of energy. Nobody likes to listen to that anyway.
I must have called 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry for everything that I've done, but when I call you never,
So right there,
I call you never.
I practiced that transition so many times, going from this calm head voice, I call you never, what it feels like to go from call you, developing that as an exercise into my muscle memory so that when the time came, I could execute.
But when I call you never seem to be home. Hello from the outside.
Now, with this line,
Hello from
notice how hello from the outside. I created this placement, this larynx float. What it did is it helped me lighten up so that I could do that run. Because when I was practicing initially, it was too heavy and I wasn't able to be agile enough. So by creating a darker, heavier, weightier sound here and here, the entrance and the exit, I was able to be lighter up here and create the auditory illusion that the whole thing was a bit more intense. When you listen to it in isolation, this is actually quite light, which is allowing me to be free enough to do the run.
Hello from the outside.
Not I have some of those things surrounding it. I have a darker, fuller sound around it. Hello from the outside. All about how you wrap it.
At least I can say that I've tried.
Same thing there. Tried is much lighter. That way I don't burn out. But you can hear me really digging in on certain notes.
At least I can say that I've tried.
That I've tried. Exaggerating what I did, but really leaning into that. That I've tried. Playing, dancing, arcing.
To tell you I'm sorry for breaking your heart, but
For breaking your heart. Not for breaking your heart, but also not for breaking your heart. Calculated, practiced moments of stepping over the edge and reining it in. Calculated, rehearsed. Rehearsed. I hope you found this helpful. This has been the single greatest tool in me being able to sing songs that I never thought I could possibly sing. So work with it. Let me know what you think in the comments. And again, if you need help developing the foundation to make this kind of thing work for you, click the link below and join my free course. If you'd like to work more with expanding your range, check out this playlist. We'll see you for more. Hey, Chris Lipe here. Don't stop till you get enough. Michael Jackson from the Off the Wall album. This is an incredible arrangement, and I have the original studio multi-tracks. Let's just dive right in, shall we? I've always wondered what the string flurries sounded like without the rest of the band. Yes. Also with the horns. I love that you can hear all the other bleed. Building the rhythm section. Here's some Rhodes by itself. I've never thought about those being separate parts. This song grooves, man. Even without the drums, it's got this amazing energy. It's fun. super powerful arrangement because even though it's super busy, it just rolls. It doesn't seem cluttered at all. It's exactly what you want. Now, with Michael's vocals, you would be tempted to say, "Oh yeah, he's in head voice. This is a head voice song for Michael," and you would be mostly right. But the nuance that I really lean into, especially having the privilege of going through these isolated vocals, is understanding how he's constantly going in and out of his head voice and a supported mixed voice. There's a power and a depth to his approach that you can't get simply by being in your normal falsetto. So as we listen through, I'm going to point out a few of them. And once I do, really listen for this. And also, if you're a singer or want to learn how to sing but aren't sure where to start, or maybe you're frustrated and you've tried learning, click the link below and join my free voice course. I'll give you an opportunity to learn everything about your voice based on inspirations that you have from other singers. And I'll help you do it in a freeing and non-judgmental way. That link is available in the pinned comment or the video description. Right.
You know, I was wondering, you know, if you could keep on, because the force it's got a lot of power in it. It makes me feel like it makes me feel like oh!
Getting that percussion just baked into his performance.
Is the feeling now? Fever, temperature's rising now. Power, oh power, is the force that vow that makes it happen. It asks no questions why.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, so get closer now to my body now. Just love me till you don't know. Ooh, keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough.
So there were several instances already where he's leaning into this more powerful, brash, sort of desperate sounding sound on the higher notes. Also, I love hearing all of the sort of recording mistakes that end up adding to the performance. The input or the mic or the tape, there's distortion there that isn't optimal. There's some noise in the track. And in addition to Michael's wonderful rhythmic stuff, there's, a little bit of mouth noise. There's some things that are just there. And it's okay. This is not a sterile recording at all. And that's a wonderful thing about being able to listen to multi-tracks that were recorded before digital manipulation was even really a possibility on a large scale, is that a lot of the things that we try to take out in modern recording, they just exist and they actually add to the energy of the track by leaving them in.
Touch me, and I feel on fire. Ain't nothing like a love desire. I'm melting like hot candle wax. Sensation, sensation, lovely where we at. Oh, so let love take us through the hours. I won't be complaining, 'cause this is love power.
Okay, now this portion, we really hear Michael's voice open up on those higher notes. He's doing it more obviously than he was in the first section. Let me point out just a few parts.
Touch me.
Is it touch me? Is it small? No, it's this higher energy, even though your normal vocalist would be like, oh, that's high. I should just eke that out in falsetto. Touch me. No, it's touch me. And then he dials it back for the me. So he's more powerful on touch. Touch me. This right here, touch, it's like a shouted head voice. This is a mixed voice quality that you can get lower and then figure out how it feels higher by twanging your lower register. Touch me, touch me. And we don't hear that brashness in his lower voice because he's going into a more mild, traditional falsetto or head voice coordination. Listen for that.
Touch me.
It gets more and more obvious.
And I feel on fire. Ain't nothing.
Ugh, he grows those notes and then shrinks them.
Ain't nothing like a love desire.
It's just brilliant. This is hard to learn and hard to implement.
I'm melting.
Again there.
I'm melting.
Every one of those higher notes is brasher and mixed. Melt! And if you take the note out of it and just think about the coordination, you start to understand that this is pretty accessible in our speech level engagement with our voice. So don't go for the notes right away. Just go for melt! And transition back and forth between these two different characters in your voice. Melting! And eventually, you'll be able to stumble upon the pitches.
I'm melting like hot candle wax. Sensation. Sensation. Lovely where we at.
Yeah.
Ooh. So let love take us through the hours. I won't be complaining.
I love how he shrinks back in this phrasing here.
So let love take us through the hours. I won't be complaining. 'Cause this is love power. Ooh, keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough.
Oh, hey, man, look at that fox over there.
Oh, baby.
There's a great exercise with this technique that I'm talking about.
Oh, baby.
Sigh into that brasher. Baby. This is where this stuff starts when you really want to discover how to do it with your own voice. Yeah, he's amazing. But it starts with expression, not technique. The technique comes later.
Oh, baby. Keep on. Heartbreak. Enemy despise. Eternal. Oh, eternal. Love shines in eyes.
Beautiful.
Ooh, so let love take us through the hours. I won't be complaining.
Now just wait. Towards the end of this song, the middle and the end of this song, you have extra respect for how these vocals lay over the increasingly busy arrangement. It's incredible.
Man, look at that fox over there.
Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the force, don't stop. Don't stop till till you get enough. Keep on
Muting the leads.
with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on.
Here's
with
just
the first
one.
Don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough.
That's super cool.
Keep on with the first don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the
All
first
right,
don't
just bringing
stop.
the leads.
Don't stop till you get enough. No power with the first don't stop. Yeah. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop. I don't stop till you get enough. No power with the first don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Nothing but power with the first don't stop. Don't stop till you get enough. Till you get enough. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on. With the first don't stop. Yeah. Don't stop till you get enough.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Don't stop till you get enough. Keep on, baby.
Did you hear how powerful that note was?
Till you get
Listen to
enough.
this.
Yeah. Don't stop till you get enough.
How brash and abandoned it was. It wasn't even totally on pitch. Sounded more like a maniacal laugh than a note. Out of context. I'm trying to like distill it down to key lines and get rid of some of the doubling so that you can hear the pocketing in the arrangement and how everything peaks out at just the right points. I think you get a better sense of that if you can listen in isolation to some of these tracks, because it doesn't sound like the wall of sound that the mixed production suggests. It really is about pocketing, and it's so interesting to me. Constant call and response. Constant conflict and resolution. Brilliant movement by the horns. We got to hear the jubilant celebrations at the very end here without the other instruments.
With the first don't stop till you get enough. Keep on with the first don't stop till you get enough.
So they just
Thanks so much for enjoying these with me, and hopefully you're inspired to try a few things with your voice or your production or whatever, in addition to appreciating the genius of this arrangement. Be sure to check out this playlist of all the Michael Jackson multi-track analysis videos I've done. And again, if you would like more help developing your voice in a freeing and non-judgmental way, click that link below and join my free voice course. We'll see you for more. I've failed. I shouldn't be doing this. I'm an imposter. There are so many other people doing this better than me. I should quit. And with all these insecurities, why would anybody want to trust me? And really, nobody who's looking to learn something like singing or screaming should trust failures. They should trust people who have it all worked out, who know everything, who can do anything. On my worst days, I live in this kind of negativity, and it's paralyzing. But then I remind myself there is massive opportunity in failure. And anybody who is successful has become successful because of failure and because of the attitude and the willingness to learn from failure. And you combine perpetual failure with relentless curiosity, and you get a combination that is unstoppable. This is what has led me to seek out and work with amazing vocalists. Periphery Spencer Sotelo.
Such a good name.
Lorna Shore's Will Ramos.
Proud of you right now. This is incredible.
Veil of Maya's Lucas Magyar. Johnny Craig. Lauren Babick. Mark Martell. Elizabeth from The Charismatic Voice. It's how, among other things, I've gone from only being able to scream like this
Come alive!
to being able to consistently and confidently make sounds like this.
Celebrity status just for murdering.
And all these people that I've worked with have this in common. They don't claim to know it all. They just lean into their experiences. They lean into what they feel and square that with how things sound and continually learn from that. They're continuing to improve, and as a result, and as I've reached out and I've worked with these people, I'm continuing to improve. I'm continuing to learn. I'm not trusting what anyone says. I'm looking and listening for what other people do, experimenting with my own voice, being willing to fail and sound and look stupid so that I can discover what's possible. And then, when I come up with something that feels cool and sounds okay, I lean into that. But I have to fail over and over again to get there. And I've found in this long journey of learning that it is supremely unhelpful to argue about what something is called, to bicker over vocal anatomy, to define terms and stick to terms and definitions. Oftentimes, the more you embrace terms and methods, the more confused you get because everybody's got a different way of looking at terms and methods. If you want to learn over time how to use your voice in amazing, freeing ways, yes, crazy mixed voice, screaming, emotional connection, all sorts of cool techniques, you can't study your way there. You can't use vocabulary or diagrams. You have to use experience and personal experience. Information isn't going to do it. This is why you can't ultimately trust what anyone says. You have to take all the information in, test it with your experience, be patient with yourself, be willing to fail, and be honest with yourself. And this is how you learn. Don't name that one person who has all the answers and hang on their every word. Because what will happen is this. You will fail. You will not get the results you're hoping for and move on to someone else who you think might have all the answers. You will fail, and right, failure is bad. You'll get frustrated and realize, oh, well, this didn't work and that didn't work. These guys don't know what they're doing. I should move on to the next person. You're going to be in a continual loop of blaming other people for why you can't figure something out. And this is why I say on the channel and in my courses all the time, experience everything. Judge nothing. Be willing to embrace failure. I'm talking to myself just as much as I'm talking to anybody watching this video. Be willing to embrace failure as opportunity and be relentlessly curious. If you would like to continue to be relentlessly curious with me, click the link below in the pinned comment or the video description and join my free course. And if you'd like to learn along with me from some of these other artists that I've mentioned, and the list is growing every day, Check out my many collaborative courses at mymusicalvoice.com. We'll see you for more. I am proud to bring you into my first time experience with Dimash, Stranger. About Stranger, like whisper singing or dumping air, you're actually constricting just a little bit above your primary chords. Stranger, no. Stranger, no. You don't hear any rasp there. Listen to this. Stranger, stranger. That's a rasp, not a breathiness. But he's got the balance down so seamlessly that his rasp sounds like breathiness, but more supported than breathiness alone. You hear it there too. It's that ability to be coordinated around loose vocal cord engagement that is allowing him such freedom with his lower resonances. Now, we're never going to touch the skill level and natural ability of Dimash, but you can do a lot more with your voice than you think you can. If you'd like to build a solid foundation for singing, and you'd like to pull things like an expanded range, lots of freedom of expression, you like to pull those things out of your own voice and do so in a non-judgmental way, click the link below and join my free voice course. You can find that link in the pinned comment or the video description. Oh! Okay, I gotta hear that section again. Wonderfully supported clean mix. That's not a head voice. No. He's growing that mix from a head voice, I think. Yeah, you hear, he cracked into it the first time. And then he's going, his approach is very varied, but listen. As he's going up, he has that well-supported mixed voice, that powerful posture of chest voice support in traditionally head voice area. But he starts some of those notes in a very whimpery, sort of unsupported head voice. So he's growing those. Small. So connected. All of the things he's doing is so connected. From a mix to deceptive whistle tone, whistle register engagement is absolutely mind-blowing. You don't hear a transition. You don't hear an interruption in airflow. It's vexing. I cannot replicate that kind of engagement anywhere close. I've done studies on whistle tone, but my technique is much more detached from what I hear him doing. It's confusing and absolutely amazing how he transitions from what sounds like an engaged mix. I'm not even sure where he transitions into whistle because it's so seamless.
Димаш Кудайберген!
Игорь Крутой!
Absolutely nuts.
Спасибо огромное! Спасибо большое. Люблю вас сильно, пресильно.
Браво! Ну, конечно, невероятные эмоции мы испытываем от голоса Димаша.
Спасибо
Димаш
огромное.
Кудайберген, браво!
Спасибо огромное. Спасибо, спасибо. Игорь Крутой! И лучший хопзист мира, мой друг, гость из Казахстана, Олжас Хурманбек. Спасибо!
So many amazing vocal acrobatics to appreciate, both from a technical standpoint, but also just an artistic and fun way to engage standpoint. If you'd like to dive deeper into expanding your own range as a vocalist, check out this playlist. And again, if you'd like help digging into the fundamentals of singing with your voice so that you can unlock all sorts of things you never knew were possible. Now, you're not going to sound like Dimash, but you will be able to do a lot more than you currently do now. Click that link below and join my free course. We'll see you for more.
Far beyond the road, between your house and home, there is a churning storm of hailing, burning gold. Tiny baby cry, little tiny boy in the prophet game. Tiny baby gold. Is it doing what he said? To make a proper home by overturning the other sound. Shows them how to save his precious far beyond the wheel. Spin your life around, driving flesh and blood deep into the ground. Deep, deep, deep into the ground. Beyond the wheel, steers life around by driving flesh and blood, blood deep into the ground, to the ground, to the ground.
Give me some fry. Give me a sigh. Now, combine fry with sigh. Good. Now, make your mouth
like this, like really low. Oh, open. Oh. And put your tongue like this and give me the same thing.
If he can do it, anybody can do it. Follow these little steps, one by one, and see what happens for you getting some neat growls, sounding things, and screams, at least the beginnings of them.
I love you, oh loves. Do you have thoughts? Do you wanna share them with me? I love you, oh loves. Oh, do you have thoughts? I'd like to share mine with you. Can we share? Are you gonna spread love or hate? Are you gonna spread love?